Welcome to Biomutant. It's harder for others to see you in the dark. This is Dixie's goods. There's an outfitter and an upgrade bench dangling in that little... Let's see. Says they've got the... You need to point its face in the right direction. Careful you don't slide down the Sprill slope. Maybe Honky can show you the way. Let's see. Thinks most aren't as lucky as you. The fact that you've survived this long says a lot about how tough a customer you are. You don't have to... Says he's more of an opportune artist. He helps match anyone with the things they need. You might be one of the shrewdest customers he's ever met. No one gets to be outfitted as well as you without being a sharp shopper. But what are you going to do with all that gear you've got? He figures you'll do the best you can with what you've got, and that you can cut yourself good enough deals to improve on that, too. Wants you to know he's been on the lookout for great deals for you, and he's happy to share them with such a bargain hunter as you. Did you ever have second thoughts about something you bought? Or worse yet, about something you didn't buy? Life's too short to let things you want pass you by. Thinks you're a rare sort if you don't ever want for anything. Lucky you. Feels good about the world surviving. All his stuff is in it. Appreciates how you tried to help out around here, even if you didn't buy anything. Thinks you made a good match with the Myriad. He made a lot of green, selling them all sorts of things over the years. They're really fond of lights, as you know, but they also buy lots of covers for them. Hard to sleep without them. On to new business. He introduces himself as Honky and says that it's his custom to make everyone he meets a customer. He was born to be a merchant, or maybe it was fate. Regardless, there's nothing he can do to change it. Trading runs in his blood. He'll be fine, even if he doesn't turn a profit on you. That's a trade-off he's willing to make, as it's against his policy not to offer you both joy and profit.
Oh, nazy.
Says there isn't anyone fairer left in the remnants of this horror-filled world. Honky says he wants to help you help him. He knows you're someone with the potential to stay loyal to his brand. He always follows the market and listens to what it's telling him to do, but often he feels it's up to him to tell others what they need. He'll give you what you need as soon as he's helped you help him collect an insignificant, good-for-nothing. Says it doesn't matter that much, but enough for him. Easy to lose your way if you can't see landmarks. Too tight, and the rope tips. It feels like an ancient dungeon down here.
Diagnosis most.
Honky appreciates that you got him the pointless thing he asked for. He thinks you're a true bargain hunter.
Isa below.
Honky would really appreciate it if you could get him another unprofitable item while you're at it. It would mean a lot to him, even if it's useless to you.
Pistols.
The more emotional he gets, the better the deal you'll be able to strike. So there's something in this for you, too.
Sinjana.
The useless thing shouldn't be too much of an inconvenience.
Mochiwagori Terrell.
Calls you a prime and a helper of the finest kind. Being a prime is so much better than being primal.
Kote Asitiki Epitika.
Honky says everything must go except you.
Monakios.
Understands completely. Finally, a bit of glow. A ladder would be better. Dawn feels like greeting an old friend.
No zeros in Brofentai.
Now that Honky's got the valueless things he prizes, he says he's ready to bargain.
Ane Zichiki.
Honky says he now wants to give you an opportunity to get more than you expected in return.
Ane Zichiki.
He promises he'll make trading with him worthwhile.
Sao Sapokin Face.
The more you get, the more he'll give.
Those Magnesi.
Says as long as you're happy with him, then he'll be as fair as can be.
Sao Sapokin Face.
Honky is always open for business. Is that a ray of hope? Let's see. It's a place well hidden. It's just below the above.
Kutai, Hifar, Befarb.
Out of Date's impressed you made it this far, but there's still so much left to do. The end of the world is still on everyone's minds.
Tulua ba volua.
You've beaten a path where you have the power to destroy or save everyone. Question is, what you'll do with that responsibility.
Evunkutu buvum.
He can sense that your heart beats steadily and acknowledges that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
To Huaye.
Thinks it's important that you remember who you are and where you came from. Someone without knowledge of their history and origin is like a tree without roots.
Paikatawa.
What do you think his are? He's the one that's called Out of Date, remember?
Paikatawa.
Out of Date says there's a time for everything. And now there's no use thinking of the past, for it's gone.
Bilia antuf.
Think of the present because that's where you are. It's time to set your priorities as the one who completes things.
Iboda kelmok.
If you continue to do good, good will follow you.
Honto kontue pon yevun goja.
If the world really does end, there won't be anywhere to run. So he's prepared for the worst, something he calls the Ark.
Lua tolu tum.
He hopes you're right. He gets that you mean the journey continues either way, but personally he wants the tree to survive.
Papa mofubak.
Out of Date says there's no clear record of the chain of events that changed the course of history and brought the world to its knees.
Loma utulu ba yowo.
He's found evidence on the Ark, records of a crisis, decades of contamination that permeated the ground and broke its inner core.
Loma utulu ba yowo.
The contamination disrupted what we now know as Ki energy, the life force that runs through all things, living and inanimate.
Mpa wherefore wherewe.
He's been told the blight affected everything at a genetic level and turned our perception of normality on its head.
Weta gono.
It was only those that changed that avoided extinction, proving that the possibility for survival and renewal was real.
Ebazo dombubu bukoye.
He understands you are curious about the ship at the foot of the tree. He says it surfaced when the oil broke through the ground.
Tolua lo toloka.
The Ark predates the back-in days, and now, after years of study of the manuals he found inside, he believes he's figured the ship out.
Tolua lo toloka.
The Ark has room for 4 more, and he trusts you'll apply wisdom to your compassion and choose whom to save if the world comes to end.
Ebazo dombubu bukoye.
He'll keep the seats open, and you are free to invite up to 4 others to join you in the Ark in the event of a cataclysm.
Candida duela bofo.
Out of Date says the time has come for you to reconcile with your past.
Yun lua tula.
Lupa Lupin is still staying in the camp where he was brought up. He hopes you'll find the answers you are looking for there.
Ya moluuvando.
Even though darkness is a part of your nature, he suggests you try to keep your cool, as the best fighter is never angry.
Ikobe. Ifari kobo farmu.
He'll point you in the right direction, but the rest is up to you. This part of the journey is one you'll have to do on your own. Lupa Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains.
Koyevun. Tuvun bunun.
Out of Date hopes you'll find your way and the answers you were looking for once you're there.
Vunko vuntubu.
He knows he said it before, but the time has come to put an end to the Lupin's reign of terror.
Ya, sawata mua.
You should get over there, come face to face with destiny. It's going to be you against the Lupin. No rules.
Ya, sawata mua.
He wonders what's on your mind.
Tamuk gabamuk tab.
Says you should take it easy. Lupa Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains. Tread carefully here. This is Lupa Lupin's camp. Looper Lupin says he's been looking forward to this moment. He wanted you to come here and see for yourself where it all started. He was so little when your mother and kin came here to put an end to his mother just because she was different, a hunter. That night, the hunter became the hunted, trapped with nowhere to run. He says your mother showed no mercy, only vengeance. He can see that you're not like your mother. There's something different about you. Maybe you would have made a better decision than she did, and let them be. They orphaned him, left him alone, an outcast and a freak. Looper Lupin says he's been reliving the moment every night since then. He says your mother and her disciples started something that couldn't be undone. They created the monster he would become. He knew his time would come, and he was patient. So, when he got news about your birth, he knew how to get revenge that would last. That's why he spared you that night he raised the village when you were a child. He wanted you to suffer for life, like he had. He marked you for life, so he'd recognize you when you met again, and you'd eventually remember where you came from. His hunger grew insatiable over the years to come. He tried, but being vegetarian wasn't in his nature, and he couldn't go hungry. But he's never taken a life for the sake of appetite. It's always been about survival, and that our true self is being who we are. A deep look into nature will make you understand everything better, and that natural selection eliminates, and the strongest survive. Fate is for those too weak to determine their own destiny, and now the time has come for you to accept yours. You don't get to wander below ground like this every day.
Ugambun ang ugagad yebromo wufu.
Out of Date says there'll be consequences of the war, but there are more pressing matters at hand.
Koibe o korfabe.
The last World Eater has been left undisturbed with the tree while you focused on the war.
Maotoliawahu.
He thought someone with your light perspective and key would have had different priorities and faced the World Eaters before resolving the tribe war.
Valu alu hero.
Regardless, Out of Date is grateful the tribe war is over.
Koibe o korfabe.
Out of Date understands the road has been rough, but you already know what's left to end this journey, and it'll be tough.
Valu alu hero.
You're the only one that's strong enough to face the last World Eater.
Taimis.
The future depends on someone with a light perspective to give the world a chance to survive.
Yevovo lolan wofo.
Only time will tell what the future holds, and if it will bring a lasting peace for those that make it to the end.
Ba lo yualu.
Out of Date says the word about what you've done so far is spreading. The tribes haven't lost hope yet.
Ayamu aya.
He appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately, he's had urgent news from his friend Wiz in the northwest.
Yevovo lolan wofo.
He's unsure about your intentions, but hopes you'll support Wiz.
Ayamu aya.
He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Wiz and making sure he gets what he needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date's hunch is real. The Merc Puff is up next.
Far kobe mako to far titaba.
Out of Date says that Wiz is worried now that the Northwest World Eater is stepping up its activity.
Kutuvun poputowe.
He explains that Wiz is working on an undersurf vessel in order to get to the World Eater, but needs help to get it done.
Ye mufurbu. Boom.
Out of Date suggests that you should head northwest as fast as possible and see what you can do to help.
Boyubut paikatawa.
He's happy to help.
Umbobo tuboko.
Feels like the clouds came down to say hi.